Morning, YouTube. Still at the St. Charles Center, Missionaries of the Precious Blood in Carthagena, Ohio, in Mercer County. We're gonna go have a look at the chapel. It's a really beautiful center, beautiful place. St. Charles Borromeo, patron of St. Charles. Interesting. Proclamation. Hey, how you doing? Looks like what? I'll just sit back at the chapel. I won't. Yeah. Conference. See their pipe organ over there.
I'm so glad you went to work during the day. Oh my goodness. So good to be with you, ladies. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for giving this day to God. It's going to be a day of grace. And so we open ourselves up to that grace. And I think that's something we don't emphasize maybe enough.
Showing him chapel. How you doing here? Video. How you doing here?
Allowed to do that.
How you what?
I said he's allowed to show you.
Oh yeah. You guys will have it on YouTube too. A chapel that's full.
I'm very brothers, right? So when it's time, give me the old cut around. Because I'll have another chance a little bit later. We have in front of us an incredible opportunity. This is a great time to be Catholic. It's a great time to be Catholic. And I'm saying that because nobody else is. I get the same emails y'all get, and I get the same kind of talk. Everybody's looking around. And it's funny because it's especially coming from the more conservative end of the Catholic spectrum that you're getting kind of like, almost like when you talk people off the ledge. They're just like, it's all going downhill. We're just going to do ourselves for the worst. And it kind of strikes me as funny because, hang on a second, the truth remains the truth. The proclamation of the truth might be more or less clear, it might be more or less accurate. But I know this, I've got the same job to do of proclaiming the truth as anybody else out there that's proclaiming it that I might be disappointed, upset with, confused by. We're all in this together, ladies. And now is not the time for us to turn inward and say, man, I don't know if we're going to make it or not. This is just going to be too hard. look at everything in front of us. We've got a huge Goliath, and he's huge, you know. God's like, I've been through this before, Goliath. You recall how that worked. All you need to do is go at it in the name of the Lord, and I will win the victory for you. Right? So, the church continually throughout her history has faced Goliaths. We've always been the sheep, the little ones, gathered in the name of Christ. Look at Pentecost. You have 12 men gathered, actually there's 11 gathered, and they're shaking. Simon Peter had betrayed, but then he was forgiven. What does this mean? He's not really strong, but he is strong, but he's not strong. I mean, he's Peter, but then he's Peter. So you're like, gee, Merry Christmas, you know? What are we going to do with that? And you have St. John, nice guy, wonderful, but his job is to take care of Mary. Matthew, who was a tax collector, and now what? Didn't even have any money, so he can't even count the money. I mean, this is like kind of a motley crew gathered here in that upper room. And those men who were supposed to be our valiant priests and bishops, remember, this is 40 days after his resurrection. 40 days after the resurrection, that's it, 1 month later. Their first ordination is healed, and they're locked up in fear. The church begins her days in fear of the unknown, in fear of that big monster that's out there called everybody else. It's so funny because we have that same feeling. It's like, man, am I going to really be Catholic? Is my home going to be Catholic? Well, if I am, I won't be like all those other ladies. I won't be like all those other moms. I won't be like all those other girls that are out there. And so we're kind of like, well, if I'm in us, then the them, but the them is awesome. The them is like, they're having a great time out there. And so we lock ourselves up and we look at each other and we say, what are we going to do? And so that's why Jesus, knowing ahead of time what the church would need, thought ahead. And he planted in the midst of that fearful community of men a wellspring of hope. And her name was the Virgin Mary. And even though they locked the doors on the outside to keep them away from the us, and to keep the us away from the them, in the midst of that fearful assembly, there was a woman of valiant heart, whom Jesus planted there so that she could give her spirit to those men locked in fear. And so she prayed for 9 days from the Ascension until Pentecost. She was teaching these men how to look to God for their strength and how to draw their strength from God. Because our strength as a church does not come from ourselves. You're right, the us is awful small and kind of flawed. We're all real supportive, you know, until you have a priest who's a bad guy. And then you're like, well, now what am I going to do? So you go to another priest, you talk to him, and he consoles you, and he turns out to be a bad guy. And then by that time, your husband's like, they're all bad guys. And then you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And so you turn inward, you can't find it. This is not what, and the wonderful thing about the moment of Pentecost is that they were all bad guys. All 11 of the apostles at that moment had fled Jesus when he most needed them. It says in the Gospel of Mark, when they came to find Jesus in the garden, then all fled. All fled. Afterwards, Simon Peter and St. John turn around and they kind of like go back. And St. John ends up making it all the way to the cross. But that was after he also had shown his own fear. Maybe I think knowing St. John a little bit from the inside, because that's my community, I bet it was kind of like he wanted to stay close to the others. He didn't want to abandon the others. But I'm sorry, when you stay close to the others, you're St. John. And he had to deal with that also. The only one who never abandoned him was his mother. And she's sitting in front of him. And she gathers all of them in mercy. And each one of them looks around flawed. The strength of the church doesn't come from herself. The strength of the church comes from God. And the Virgin Mary was the one who gave that new ethos, that new spirit into the church, that those apostles turned to God. How did she do that? She did it from the inside. We got the same situation happening to us today. The big world out there is waiting for God, and yet telling us that it's hostile to Him. Atheism. Wow, that's a lot of fun. You know, send your grandkids out there and dialogue with the atheists. Oh, another one falls. Another one falls. It's no good. Oh yeah, I mean, between the atheists and then there's the agnostic, then there's the New Agers who all are awesome. They're out there hiking with their dreadlocks and their pants that are made of marijuana leaves. And they're just like so cool. You're just like, oh my gosh.
Very interesting. Some type of women's retreat going on here. Conference. Yep, so that was their chapel here. I guess this right here is their the big main entrance. You can see it right down here. Grandfather clock right here. Mail room over here. This one's got about 2 minutes. I'm just gonna let this one run to the end. Mail room.
Well,
See just a beautiful and grand entrance, long driveway to the entrance of this wonderful facility. Right here, nice tree lined, the lights, the beautiful farm fields. Oh, that door was loud there. Yeah, this will be a good point to end this one. Beautiful farm fields on both sides, the lights, the long straight drive, the trees. Some of the front side. I'll be back beside it in a second here. It's beautiful. I wonder how old this building is, but it's 4 stories. It's 4 stories. Just beautiful area that this is located in. It's been raining all morning today, but I guess that's just how it goes. Alright, YouTube, that's it for this one.